Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome back to another Tier 4 Essentials video for Marvel Strike Force. Now the team we will look at today will be the Defenders, and we actually have some other characters added in that work exceptionally well with the Defenders team. So in total we'll look at the essential Tier 4 upgrades for Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Miss Marvel and also Punisher. Now we'll run through each of the characters. At the end I'll then bring up a screen with all the essential upgrades, so that way if you want to take a screenshot of that for your own reference later on you can certainly do so. Now before we actually jump in and start breaking these down, I just want to mention the fact that recently on the channel I've noticed for some unknown reason that YouTube appears to have stopped recommending my videos. The rates it recommends them when I've compared it to other creators is exceptionally low for some reason. So what I would ask, if you're enjoying the videos on the channel, please make sure to hit the like button, make sure to leave a comment, because that drives engagement and hopefully that can get me having my videos being recommended again. And feel free to share and subscribe if you haven't done so either. But let's now jump in and we'll start off with Daredevil. The first ability we look at here for Daredevil would be the basics. This is Strike Without Fear. So with this one, you're attacking the primary target, you have a chance for a bonus attack against regular enemies, and against villains at level 7 you can actually get a 100% chance for that bonus attack, so you can absolutely melt enemy villains with this. Now if we look at the difference between level 6 and 7, it's 30% damage to the primary target attack, it's 10% chance to get that extra bonus attack, and then it ups the bonus attack on villains to 100% chance. So if you attack a villain at level 7 you're guaranteed to do a whopping 540% damage, which is absolutely incredible. So this is one that I definitely recommend that you do upgrade. Next one we have is the special. This is really pretty lackluster. This is called Throw Baton. So you attack the primary target, you do damage, it chains up to an additional 2 targets, that would be 3 in total, and also with this it applies counter to all defender allies. And this is really why you use this. You don't use it for the damage portion, you use it to apply the counter. Now the only difference from level 6 to 7 is 20% damage, and the chain, rather than being 1 to 2 targets, moves up to 2, so you don't want to upgrade this one at all, just keep this at level 6. For the ultimate, we have a move called Brawl. This one here, you're attacking the primary target, you're then chaining to, if it's maxed out, up to 7 additional targets, and counterattack would break this chain, as is the case with all melee skills like this. Now the difference from 6 to 7 is 30% damage and you increase the chain. However, the 30% damage is only to the primary attack, it's not to the adjacent targets as well. If it was for the adjacent targets as well, I would definitely upgrade this, but with it only being the one target, you get additional damage on, and in most instances you won't really need a chain as long as it provides up to 7 targets. So for this reason, just keep this particular one at level 6. Now finally we have the passive, which is Enhanced Senses. So with this one here, he basically buffs the defenders. He can give them attack speed, he can gain dodge chance himself, and he can also gain damage. Now the difference from level 4 to 5 in this is that you can offer the defenders either 5% extra speed or 10%, and speed is king in the game, so for that reason this is another one that you want to max out. So for Daredevil it would be the basic and the passive that you maxed out. The next character we'll look at will be Iron Fist. We start off here with the basic for Iron Fist then. This is called Martial Arts. So with this one it's maxed out, you're attacking the primary target, 250% damage, and you're chaining to 2 adjacent targets for 130% damage. The difference between level 6 and 7 in this one is 40% damage on the primary attack, and the chain, rather than it being 1 to 2, is a guaranteed 2. Now a bit similar to Daredevil, because the additional damage isn't been added on to the chain targets, this is one that I couldn't really justify upgrading, so this is one you would just take to level 6. We then have Inner Peace, which is an awesome skill, but it's one that the upgrade for it is exceptionally poor. So this one, you'll be healing self and defenders for a set amount of health, as well as 10% of Iron Fist health, and then you'll heal the most injured city ally as well. Now with this one, the only difference from level 6 to 7 is 3000 flat health, so definitely not worth upgrading. Avoid this one at all costs. We then have the ultimate, which is the Iron Fist. So you're attacking the primary target for a huge amount of damage, you're clearing positive effects, and then you're applying offense down to yourself. I still hate that he does that. I wish they would have removed that when they done his rework. But the difference between level 6 and 7 in this one is a whopping 100% damage. Yes, it may only be for a primary target, but 100% damage is a huge amount, and this move can really pack a punch when you max it out. So take this one all the way up to level 7. Finishing up for Iron Fist, we have Son of Kunlun. So this one here, you'll be healing defenders allies on spawn, so that kicks in raids. You also heal city heroes as well, and on your turn you have a chance to actually heal your defenders and city heroes as well, and then you can finally gain damage on Iron Fist for each defender ally. The difference from level 4 to 5 in this one's pretty big, and it can make a huge difference in raids. So you'll gain an additional 10% chance to heal at level 5, and you also be healing for an additional 10% health. So when you add all that up, it is without a doubt worth upgrading. So for Iron Fist, it would be the ultimate and the passive that you want to max out. Now the next character will be Jessica Jones. The first skill we have here for Jessica Jones then is the basic, which is called Jawbreaker. So with this one, you're attacking the primary target for a set amount of damage. You have a 50% chance to bonus attack 1 to 2 times, and you'll generate ability energy for a random defender ally, and finally each attack has a 50% chance to generate 1 ability energy as well. Now that's all at level 7 you actually gain that. The difference from level 6 to 7 is 20% damage on the primary attack, 10% damage on the bonus attack. The bonus attacks, rather than it just being 1, it actually gives you a chance of getting 1 to 2, and Jessica Jones can actually really pack a punch, so she can do a lot more damage when you upgrade this. And also from 6 to 7 you get that guaranteed 1 ability energy for a random defender. So this is one when I initially reviewed Jessica Jones for an in-depth review, I said don't upgrade it. A lot of people said that was a mistake, so I decided to go ahead and upgrade it, and it was without a doubt worth it. So we'll take this one all the way up to level 7. We then have the special, it's called Shake It Off. So with this one, if it's maxed out, you're clearing all negative effects from self and all allies, and you're generating energy as well. The difference from 6 to 7 is that with 6 you're only clearing 3 negative effects from allies, and with the number of debuffs we get in characters nowadays, 3 really isn't that much at all. So I would rather cleanse all the negative effects, and that's why I would say this is another one you want to take to level 7 there. Looking at the ultimate, this is called Rejection. So you're attacking the primary target for a huge amount of damage, and maxed out you'll clear all positive effects, and this has an additional 100,000 focus. So just about any character in the game really, you can strip the positive effects from them. Now with this, the difference from 6 to 7 is 50% damage, which is a nice amount considering how hard she hits, and it's a bit similar to the special in a way that you'll only be clearing 3 positive effects, or if you max it out at level 7 you're clearing all positive effects. And if you want to go up against the likes of, let's say, Juggernaut, or even try and take on Colossus, then you want to max this out so you can strip all the positive effects from them. So that's the third one in the row for Jessica that I would say you want to max out. Finishing up here, we have the passive, which is called Denial. So this will offer additional resistance to Jessica, defenders, city allies, and also a small amount to other additional allies as well. The difference from level 4 to 5 in this is a 10% additional resistance to Jessica and a 10% additional resistance to defender characters. Now, resistance of course is very nice and exceptionally important, but it still has to go through this check, and there is an element of RNG in it, so even if you increase it, there's still chances that you can get debuffs applied on yourself. So this is a good one, but it's one that, because of the randomness involved in it still, even if you upgrade it, it will slightly lower the odds of getting a debuff, but the odds are still going to be there. So for that reason, this is one I personally just keep at level 4. So for Jessica there, that was the basic, special and the ultimate I would say that you want to max out. The next character we'll look at is a final defenders character, it is Luke Cage. Luke Cage then is a character where his tier 4 upgrades are actually really lackluster. Now the first one we look at is the basic, which is beat up. So with this you're attacking a primary target, you've got a chance for an assist with that, and if the ally's a defender they gain defense up. The difference from 6 to 7 is only 40% damage to a primary target, and his base damage isn't that great in the first instance, so just keep this one at level 6. We then have Bring It On, which is his taunt and also his special. So maxed out this one, you gain taunt for 2 turns, which is awesome. You gain 2 regeneration and you'll clear all negative effects from self and apply regeneration to defender allies. Now the difference from 6 to 7 is that at level 6 you only be clearing 2 negative effects, whereas at level 7 you're clearing all negative effects. And that's a pretty huge difference in the potential number of debuffs that you could be cleansing from yourself, but this is one that I wouldn't upgrade. The reason for that is that generally you'll get the vast majority of debuffs on yourself when you're actually taunting and pulling all the aggro, and this skill's taking 4 turns to charge. So what happens is you'll taunt up, you'll get a ton of debuffs on you because you're taunting up. By the time it comes back around to your turn, the majority of the debuffs will be away by that point most likely, or Luke Cage will most likely be downed by that point. So on paper it does look awesome, but it's one that I just can't justify upgrading at all, so I would keep this one at level 6. For the ultimate we have a skill called Unbreakable. With this one here, gaining defense up for 2 turns and death proof, and you're applying defense up to defender allies for 2 turns, and you apply defense up to additional allies, and then you can generate between 1 to 3 ability energy for random allies. The only difference from level 6 to 7 in this, it's really minor once again, is that you're generating 1 to 2 ability energy rather than 1 to 3. Because it's going to random characters, I don't feel this is one that's worthwhile. So this is another one that's level 6. Finally, we have the passive, which is Power Man. With this, you're gaining additional max health per defender ally, you're gaining armour, and you're gaining up to 15% max health. The difference from 4 to 5 is only 5% max health for Luke on his own. So this is another one that I don't feel is worth the upgrade. So sadly for Luke Cage, personally I feel that he doesn't have any tier 4 upgrades there. Now that's all the defenders characters done, so we've got Miss Marvel and Punisher to look at now, and we'll check out Miss Marvel first. Miss Marvel's a character then that can work really nice as a 5th defender to offer them extra survivability because she's an off tank of sorts, but she can actually work really best in a full brawler team, so she can fill those 2 roles there. Now when we start off by looking at the basic, this is Big Bash. The only difference is 20% damage to a primary target. That's the only difference between level 6 and 7. It's really not a lot, so you would think you wouldn't want to upgrade this. However, the damage that she does on her assists, and if you place her on a full brawler team, or even with the defenders team, you'll be getting assists whenever Daredevil and Iron Fist attack. It's based off the damage of this basic skill, so for that reason this is one that you actually want to upgrade, even though it doesn't look good in the first instance. It's all about the assists. Now the special is Rejuvenate, so you'll heal for a flat amount, you're then healing for 50% of Miss Marvel's health, and if you started below 50% health when you use this, then you gain slow as well. The only difference from 6 to 7 is 3000 health on the flat amount, so it goes from 17,000 to 20,000, so it's simply not worthwhile upgrading this. We then have Embiggen, so you will attack all enemies with this. You can get up to a 60% chance to generate 1 ability energy per target hit. So if you're going up against a team that's got summons, then that's a ton more targets that can potentially generate energy for your team, and energy is generated to random hero allies. Now because this has got a chance to proc on every character you actually hit, the difference is only 40% damage on this, but it gives you an extra 20% chance to generate that ability energy. And again, as mentioned, because it's got a chance to proc on every character, I would say this is another one that you want to upgrade and take up to level 7. Finally, we have the passive. This one's a bit similar to Punisher's passive in a way, so this is called Fangirl. When this particular one is maxed out, then you'll gain 100% chance for assist now on each hero brawler allies turn, so it's absolutely fantastic. This is one that without a doubt you want to upgrade, and it'll be one of the ones that'll be way up the list in regards to priority. So for Miss Marvel there, it was the basic, the ultimate, and also the passive. So the final character we look at will be one of my personal favourites. It's Punisher. Punisher then is a character that upgrade wise, the reason we would upgrade the particular skills is actually very similar to Miss Marvel. So the basic we look at is M4 Carbine. This one here, you're attacking your primary target, you're doing piercing damage, and you have a low 30% chance to chain up to 2 additional targets with this one. Now what's really nice about this is that the damage rating on it, like Miss Marvel's, tied in with the assists, and Punisher will be doing a ton of assists in a defenders team. So this is one that on its own you wouldn't upgrade it, but because he's getting all these assists and these will be boosted from the base damage on his basic, it's one that you definitely want to max out. So go all the way up to level 7 on this. For the special, we have Grenade Launcher. This is a little bit underwhelming. This, you're attacking the primary target, you're doing your set amount of damage and piercing, and then you're attacking adjacent targets as well. The only difference from 6 to 7 is a small 20% damage, and in most instances you only be hitting up to around about 3 characters, so this is one that I wouldn't say you want to upgrade. So this one is just going to level 6. Finally, we have the ultimate here, which is fully loaded. This one, if you're attacking all enemies when it's maxed out, you're doing 200% damage, you're doing your piercing damage. The difference is only 30%, but because Punisher can do so much damage to villains, he can absolutely shred through them, and that's the way it should be with Punisher. So given all that additional damage he's doing to villains, I feel this is one that's worthwhile upgrading, and he gets it turn number 1, so it can really turn the odds in your favour pretty quick in a match. Now, finishing off, we have Lock and Load. There's a whole lot going on in this tooltip, so I'm not going to read it all out, but essentially with this, when you use a non-combat skill on a defender's character, then you get an assist, and if you're running a full defenders team, then that means you've got the 100% chance for assist. So you cast the heal on Iron Fist, then you'll be doing an attack. You cast the cleanse on Jessica Jones, you're doing an attack. You cast the taunt on Luke Cage, you do an attack as well. I'm sure you get the point by now, but it is really nice. Now with this, the difference from level 4 to 5 on this, it's a difference from, it would be 50% chance to get that bonus attack to 100%, so that's absolutely incredible. But also with this, when Daredevil's attacked, Punisher will retaliate, and the difference in damage goes up by 40% when you max this out. So this is another one of these upgrades that priority rank wise is way up there. So for Punisher, it would be the basic, the ultimate, and the passive that you want to max out. So that's all 6 characters covered. Let's now quickly jump on and we'll do a little overview just to show them all off in a list here. And again, as mentioned, this way you can take a screenshot of it if you want it for future reference. So if we look at a quick list of all the essential upgrades to make the Defenders team kick butt. So it's Daredevil with the basic and the passive, Iron Fist is the ultimate and the passive, Jessica Jones is the basic special ultimate. We don't have any upgrades for Luke Cage, and Miss Marvel and Punisher are actually the same. I would say you want to upgrade the basic, ultimate and the passive in both of them, and when you do that you should really see a big difference in your Defenders team. Now, as mentioned earlier on in the video, if you've enjoyed this particular video, please take the time to hit like, feel free to share it, please do leave a comment so we can hopefully start to drive engagement a bit more and see YouTube recommending my videos more than they are at the moment. And as always, thanks for tuning in. I hope it has been helpful, and I'll see you all again soon.